And you have your microphone open, Viorica.
Yeah. Do you hear me?
Yeah.
Good evening. Here is evening. Cesar, I have a question. Most of the time, my mind is very quiet. I am very aware about everything I am doing, what is around me, but no thought about. If a thought arises, for example, I have a pain, yeah, and I ask who has a pain, and I try to find out, automatically the attention is going in my head, in this space, where I find nothing, but is an active attention. How can I say? When I have no thought, I feel like the mind it's lazy, it's sleeping. You know what I mean? It's very different sensation, and I don't know how is okay to be. I don't know if you understand me. I can stay hours without thinking anything, yeah, but I feel like my mind is lazy. But when I ask who is I, automatically it's attention, you know, in the head. It's different sensation. I don't know which one is correct.
No.
None of them. Yeah, good answer. Thank you.
Even the thoughtless state is a mental state.
Okay,
Means
correct.
that means I, Viorica, can spend long time without thinking.
Yeah,
So,
exactly. Yes, this is the feeling. Yeah.
right. So I am Viorica that's a thought. I am Viorica means I am the body. That means that this I am is a thought.
Yeah.
So that is the mind free from thoughts. If the mind is free from thoughts, it has to subside. It cannot stand without thoughts. Meaning that the thought I am the body will disappear and becomes evident that I am consciousness. The body is no longer perceived as I or me. It is perceived, so to speak, perceived as any other object in the world. So the body is seen as the world, not as I. So the mind becomes quiet for some time, but then it goes into a particular mood, which is dullness.
Yeah, exactly. This is the problem. Yeah, exactly.
That's also a mental state.
Yeah. So it's not okay.
No, it's not okay or not okay. It's just a mental state. So
Yeah,
the question should arise again. Who is experiencing this mental
yeah,
state called dullness? It is the mind itself. It's a mood or a characteristic of the mind.
yeah,
Sometimes,
exactly.
sometimes it's pure, sometimes it's active, sometimes it's dull. But all that is me, Viorica, the body, right?
Yeah, exactly. This is my feeling. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, yeah. But
So
when I put a question, who am I? Who is this Viorica? Yeah. Immediately I feel like I go out of the world where I know to be. You know what I mean? It's a feeling like retraction.
yes, but
Yeah.
the inquiry is not the question, who am I? The question, who am I, suggests, let me see who am I, means let me see myself.
Yeah.
The inquiry means to remain self-aware. It doesn't matter what is happening, whether it is outside, so to speak, or inside, feelings, thoughts, emotions, bodily sensations,
What do you mean self-aware? What does it mean self-aware?
aware of yourself, however you believe yourself to be at that time.
Yeah. Mm.
You believe to be the ego, and then you're aware of yourself as the ego. If you remain as yourself aware of yourself as the ego. You as the ego will disappear. The idea that you are the ego will disappear. Means the I am the body idea will disappear.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very different when I try to find Viorica, for example, yeah. It's an active searching, you know. The mind is very quiet, but I feel activity in searching, yeah, curiosity, or how can I say? But when I have no thought, it's like dullness, exactly how you said, like I am dead, you know. I am looking around, I don't care. Yeah, it's not yeah, it's a state of mind. Yeah, it's nothing. Yeah.
No, the thoughtless state is very awake.
Yeah, I am aware what is around me,
No, no,
but
no. Is that this state is not lazy or dull.
uh,
This state
okay.
is very alert.
Alert. Yeah, this
The mind is
yeah, yeah,
the mind is alert, and
this
yet
is the
it
word.
is,
Yeah.
it is still. It is quiet.
Yeah.
But in my experience, if the mind is really quiet, it subsides in consciousness.
Yeah.
The mind without thoughts cannot exist. The mind exists only in association with thoughts. Means
Yeah.
by that with object, because what I think about, even if I think about myself, myself is also an object. So this myself is an object, the body.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if there is no thought about anything else, and there is not even thought about oneself, but just awareness of oneself, this I that is aware of itself disappears, meaning the idea of being this I disappears.
Yeah. No, it's very logic what you say. Of course, the thought I cannot exist alone. It's impossible. It's yeah, it's true. But you know, I feel very good when I don't have thoughts, you know, like I expect it to feel bad, but I think it's dullness, exactly how you said, is a state of mind, is
Okay,
not clear inquiry. No.
let's put it in this way. It doesn't matter what the state is experienced, whether it's active, pure, or mind.
Okay.
Then to whom this is happening, right? Who is conscious of
Yeah.
any particular phenomenon?
Me. Me.
Exactly, me. But
Yeah.
then the whole point is to fix the attention on this me, no matter what is
Yeah.
happening,
Mhm.
no matter what the phenomenon is taking place, mental, emotional, sentimental,
Yeah,
physical,
yeah, 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 yeah.
external,
Yeah.
energy, it doesn't matter. There must be a perceiver or a knower.
Yeah. Correct. Yeah. I have a question. You told to an Irishman in a video, because I check all your videos almost, that the mind is going in the heart.
Yes.
What does it mean? It's like an opening, no? So,
The heart is another name for consciousness
okay. Yeah.
because the
Yeah.
heart means the center. The
Yeah.
center
Yeah.
means the core, the source, right?
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
center where all phenomena are taking
Yeah.
place,
Yeah.
from where all phenomenon arises, where all
Mm.
phenomenon exist, where from where all phenomenon are witnessed, and
Mm.
to which all phenomenon dissolves.
In the heart. Yeah.
The heart is is nothing but oneself. It's another name for
Yeah.
oneself.
Yeah. Yeah. Because usually here you feel you are here in the, yeah. Yeah. True.
It's not there because it cannot be located in a particular place of the body, see, because
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
non-physical.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's,
But somehow, because the body is there and the body is the point of reference for everyone, it
mhm.
appears that it is there, but it's not really there. It's everywhere.
Yeah.
It is everything. Everything is there.
Yeah.
Everything is in the heart, in consciousness. Nothing exists outside of consciousness, separate from consciousness, independent from consciousness, right?
Yeah, very interesting. Thank you so much.
You're
Thank you.
welcome. So, if the mind is dull, if the mind is active, it doesn't matter. There must be a seer or a witness or a knower or an experiencer, right?
Yeah,
And obviously, it is me. So the idea again is to fix attention on this me, on this I, and to try not to get distracted with anything, thoughts, feelings, emotions,
mm-hmm.
bodily sensations, energy, movement,
With
mood.
the sensation is harder because these are body sensation. They are continuously under breathing, you know.
Doesn't matter.
So it's not.
We are
Yeah,
not,
yeah,
no, we are not interested in any of it. We are interested
yeah,
in to know who is the one that knows all of it. Who is the knower?
yeah, yeah, correct. Mm. This dual state of mind, you know, is very tricky because I think, oh, it's very nice. Without thought, it's very nice because I few months I try to don't put labels to anything I see, you know, to don't think about it. Because usually if I'm thirsty, I think, you know, oh, I need to go to take a glass of water or whatever. Now, easy, I start to do all these things without thought, you know, without thinking, without labeling, just doing. And I think the mind learned to be quiet, but doesn't mean that doesn't exist, you know. I mean that the I doesn't exist. How can I say?
It hasn't disappeared.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know.
It
Operation, surgery.
no, we must try to keep it simple, right?
Yeah.
It's not about, okay, I will not think, I will not give levels to anything. This is also a thought. And
Yeah,
it's,
but it worked, you know, because now I look at things and I don't name them. So in my mind is not coming the name. Oh, I see a tree. I just look.
yeah, but this is not the end.
Oh, I know it's not the end. It's the beginning of the beginning.
No, no, these are thoughts. You are complicating it. You are getting to conclusions and creating all more concepts, right?
Yeah, yeah,
One can even think that we are not thinking.
yeah,
It's just to put the attention on the thinker,
yeah,
on the thought I.
yeah. This I didn't understand. What means to put attention on the thought I? What does it mean?
Yourself,
Ah,
because yourself is
it's a thought. Yeah, correct.
still
Yeah,
appears to be a thought, appears to
yeah,
be
it's correct. It's correct. Yeah,
Bjorka. See,
yeah,
I am trying to do this without thinking. I am trying not to level. Then I go and have a glass of water. Who is having the glass of water? The body.
yeah. The body definitely. Yeah,
Yes, yes. So I means body. I still means body, right? So
yeah,
I
yeah,
seems to be oneself. So the attention goes to what seems to be oneself.
yeah. You're right. Yeah, the body goes to drink water definitely.
Yes, yes. If we put the attention in what seems to be oneself, what seems to be oneself disappears.
Yeah. Logically, I understand everything. Yeah, I am teacher. Everything I understand what you say, but practically it's not the same.
Hmm.
Yeah,
So what I mean is don't no need to think who am I. See, we hold the intention to fix attention on oneself, and we try not to allow oneself to get distracted by anything. Thoughts, again, feelings, emotions, bodily sensations, bodily needs, right? Like thirst, hunger, cold, heat, pain, pleasure.
Usually my attention is going in an empty space, yeah, and it's staying there. I don't know
No, no, no.
where to go.
If you pay attention to empty space, the empty space is an object, and the mind is the subject, and the mind is focusing on something, means it's not focused on itself. See?
So where to go? Because
To yourself, I just told you, to yourself.
but myself is just a thought. How can I think as
Just put the attention on yourself. I just explained to you. Put the attention in what seems to be yourself, and then what seems to be yourself will disappear. If what seems to be yourself, it is really, really free from thoughts, it is really, really still or quiet, it will subside.
yeah, I don't understand. When I ask, I tell you practically, yeah, no matter what words we use, yeah. When I ask, who am I? Yeah, I go in my mind, and in my mind is nothing. So where to put attention?
In the I that is asking the question, isn't it you? Put attention on your own sense of self, sense of being. This knowledge I am is there. Everybody knows I am. So let me put attention to what I know or believe I know to be myself.
Yeah,
So first, this must be understood clearly. Otherwise, it will not work.
yeah. When I think about who is myself, I have sensation in my body. This I perceive like myself.
Well, hold on a second. I have I have
Yeah.
sensation in my body.
Okay. Yeah.
So the attention goes to the I. You may feel the body. We are not interested in controlling
Yeah.
anything
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
or to get rid of anything. I'm not
Yeah.
interested in any of that. I'm not going to deal with any of that.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Who is the knower of that? I. And the attention goes to this I, to this knower that seems to be oneself.
Yeah. I will try. I don't know if I will be successful. Because so many years I try to focus on the space, yeah. On a space between two thoughts, for example, yeah, to understand me. So I learn my mind, I teach my mind how to be between two thoughts, yeah, where no past, no future, something like that. And yeah.
See, the problem is that you are guiding the ego is guiding itself.
Yeah.
It is misguiding itself. You are creating your own mechanism and it doesn't work. Even
Yeah.
if you see the space, who is the seer of the space? It still is me. No, it still is me. I'm not asking the question. It's a way to
No, I understand. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I see the space. I still is body. The attention goes to oneself. It doesn't matter whatever we believe or think ourselves to be. Everybody knows I or I am. That's
Thank you.
if you need to raise a question, okay, raise a question, no problem. But
Thank you so much. Thank you.
hold the intention. I want to know myself.
Yeah. Mm.
And I don't want to know anything else. I'm not interested in anything else. I want to know myself. Good.
Next life.
And now you are creating more thoughts,
Mhm.
and you want to prolong it by thinking like that.
Yeah.
So we must try to understand this. If this is understood correctly, clearly, everything else is easy.
I know, but this is hard to understand. Well, I tell you honest, I saw a lot of videos where you explain, I don't understand, or at least this I understand to be without thoughts. Okay, so it's not a problem for me to be without thoughts. But this is dullness, exactly how you said. It's a state of mind. It's not helping at all. It just make me stupid. I don't know. One day I'll find out what it means.
Do you understand that you exist?
Yeah, but I understand that I exist because I feel the body.
I
Uh,
I feel the body. So this I must be different from the body. See, I feel the body, right?
yeah, but I think who is feeling is the mind because it's just a thought. Is not reality.
Then put the attention there
Okay.
on the I.
I, yeah. I got to buy a knife from Tesco. Oh God.
What?
No, I'm joking. I'm joking.
Okay, let's give a chance to.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Elena, I guess you will need translation.
Здравствуйте, меня слышно?
Да,
Роман, да?
да, здравствуйте.
Здрасте. Цезарь, вопрос такой, как сделать правильный выбор, чтобы потом не сожалеть о том, что, ну, как бы, о том, что неправильно сделал выбор. В общем, как сделать правильный выбор?
My question is how to make a right choice, so I will not regret about it after I did. How to make right choice.
I don't teach that because I don't know what is right or wrong.
Я этому не учу, потому что я не знаю, что есть правильно, а что есть неправильно.
Ну, вот такой выбор, который потом не вызывает сожалений.
That choice that not brings the regrets about it.
No. That I don't know if you understood. I don't do that. There is no. What I say is there is no chooser and a choice.
Цезарь говорит, нету, я не совсем понимаю, он говорит, понимаете ли вы то, что я хочу сказать, нету выбирающего в выборе.
So the best choice is find out who is the chooser.
Лучший выбор – это выяснить, кто выбирающий.
Вот я и пытаюсь. Да, я помню, что Цезарь говорил о том, что выбора нет, и вот сейчас непонятно, когда вот сейчас нужно конкретно выбрать, и я не понимаю, как это сделать из состояния «я есть», потому что, ну, как-то выбрать-то надо, и вот что делать в этом? Я опять потерялась просто, может быть, мне
I
просто
already,
нужно...
I have heard about what you're saying about there is no choice at all. But now I'm in kind of circumstances that I have to make a choice, but I don't understand how to do it from the I am position. And
Yeah,
maybe I don't understand
from
something.
the I am position, the I am, meaning by the I am, the self is choiceless.
Если поднимать под «я есть» сознание, то сознание, оно безвыборное.
The chooser is the mind.
Выбирающий — это ум.
The mind is a thought.
А ум — это мысль.
That thought is I.
Эта мысль — это я.
I means body.
Я означает тело.
I am Elena, and I want to know what is the best choice.
Я Елена, и я хочу знать, какой выбор лучший.
That is all ego activity.
Но это все эго-активность.
If you take the right choice and then there is success, you will feel proud.
Если вы сделаете правильный выбор, и после этого последует успех, то в конечном итоге вы будете себя чувствовать гордой.
And
от
pride
этого.
is also a thought. So it's a thought experiencing thoughts.
А гордость — это тоже мысль, поэтому мысль переживает мысли.
See, the mind rejoicing in its own imagination. In this case, success, it can be failure.
Видите, то есть ум, он так возрадуется этим мыслям о том, что он, например, успешный, но также это может быть и как бы проигрыш.
As long as you think you are the body, you think you are the doer.
И поскольку вы отождествляете себя с телом, думаете, что вы тело, будет делающий.
Понимаешь? Otherwise, it will be
Теоретически понимаю, а что делать-то? Ну, хорошо. Ну, то есть, я не понимаю, вот, ну а как тогда из позиции сознания, как жить-то как-то надо, выбор этот как-то сделать надо, и как здесь быть-то, я что-то не могу понять.
But from the consciousness position, anyway, I have to live somehow, and I don't understand how to live at all.
is consciousness having the doubt or you?
Это у сознания, это означает, что у сознания есть сомнения или у вас?
Is the self raising the question or the ego?
Вот истинно я спрашивает этот вопрос или эго?
Не, ну эго, конечно, да, эго спрашивает.
Of course it's ego. Ego is asking.
Sorry?
Of course it's ego. Ego is asking this question.
And if the ego disappear, will there be any question about choice or anything else?
И вот если эго это исчезнет, то не останется никакого вопроса и выбора об этом.
Хорошо, тогда, если можно, я опять потерялась, потому что вот получается, как только я попадаю в стрессовую ситуацию, все напрочь забывается вот это вот «я есть», не получается, то есть слишком, ну, как бы отождествляюсь с ситуацией, и не получается пребывать в состоянии «я есть». Вот если можно, сейчас еще раз мне волшебный пинок, как бы немножко прочувствовать, как все-таки попасть в состояние «я есть». Цезарь, можно?
Now how
Ну, в
I
смысле, направить внимание.
Mhm.
Мгм.
Now, as I see it, that in this frustrated state, I identified myself with circumstances, and I lose ability to identify myself with consciousness to be in I am. And now I want from you again mystical kick to help me to back to this I am state.
The kick is me telling you, put the attention on the I that is asking the question. The question will disappear and the questioner will disappear. This is Guru pushing the mind of the seeker inwards.
Вот этот пинок, это я, который говорю вам, что направьте внимание на того, кто задает этот вопрос. И тогда вопрос и вопрошающий этот вопрос, он исчезнет. И это и есть вот эта вот работа гуру, который разворачивает ум внутрь.
There is no mystical kicks.
И нет никаких мистических и вот этих пинков других.
You want me to give you what I don't have or I don't know?
Вы, ну, как бы просите меня быть тем, чем я не знаю, чем быть.
Не, ну это я образно. Про волшебный пинок это я образно говорю. Ну, то есть, как бы понятно, что развернуть внимание в нужную сторону, как говорится, направить. Потому что, я же говорю, как только стресс, как-то вот этот страх, ну, в общем, вот эти поднимаются все, как это сказать, выживание, как это, ну, все механизмы выживания, просто выживания тела, они поднимаются на поверхность. И, конечно, в состояние «я есть» попасть сложнее. И поэтому вот я сейчас Цезаря прошу, чтобы как бы, ну, с ним вот это вот вспомнить, это состояние, ну, и называю его волшебный пинок. То есть просто, ну, просто как бы, он же понимает, о чем. Как бы, я думаю, что он понимает, о чем речь.
I think that you understand what I'm talking about when I say a mystical kick. That I mean, under this, I mean that I have to again ask you about the help for me to back to the I am state, because all this mechanism of surviving of the body comes up, and all this happening, and it's again difficult for me to be in the I am. So I feel you understand when I say mystical kick.
I answered the question, but she's the one that doesn't understand the answer because she keeps on repeating the same question.
Я ответил на вопрос, но вы как бы не совсем вняли тому, что я ответил, потому что вы опять тот же вопрос задали, что раньше.
I can explain, but I cannot understand for other people.
Я могу объяснить, но понять я не смогу за других людей.
Pay attention to yourself.
Обратите свое внимание на себя.
You know yourself as I or I am.
Вы знаете себя, как я или я есть.
So put attention on that knowledge I am, that knowledge of being.
Обратите внимание на это знание «я есть» или на это знание бытия,
Which seems to be yourself.
которое кажется вами.
Да, хорошо, Цезарь, спасибо.
It's good. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Спасибо большое. Спасибо, Роман.
Пожалуйста.
John,
Caesar. Hello.
I can hear you.
During the inquiry, there was holding on to the I am, but there was no idea how it was done or what was doing it or where the I am was.
And who has no idea?
I had no idea.
Obviously,
Uh,
obviously you. I have no idea. That's a thought.
Well, this is talking about it now.
Yeah, but that's a mind game.
Oh,
Arriving,
it's totally,
arriving,
yeah.
arriving to a conclusion very quickly.
Well, it isn't a conclusion like such.
See, when the ego disappears, the knowledge of being the self is absolutely clear, evident. There is no doubt.
Yeah. I don't think I've realized the self, but am I on the right inquiry track?
Just repeat the question and you will see. When you put the attention on the I am, you say, no?
Yeah. I don't know where the I am is, but it's just focused on.
The I am is the one that says, I don't know where the I am is.
Oh, this is really,
Subtler trap. Subtler,
God,
subtler than
Caesar,
the,
like,
subtler than the previous one.
this is crazy. Like,
The mind said so now. Oh God. Oh God.
yeah, I know, but like, yeah. Okay. It seems to be the more I inquire, the tougher it gets,
The
or
subtler,
slipperier, subtler.
yes, subtler the traps. That's the way it is.
Okay.
See, the self has no questions, no knowledge. It just is. And is silence, a conscious silence, formless, conscious silence. So the ego says, I cannot find the ego. I don't know what it is.
That's the quiet mind. Yeah. The enlightened state or something.
No,
Yeah.
it's not quiet because
Oh,
it is thinking. You don't see the I. The I says, right? This is what we seem to be. this I. So for this I to disappear means the idea that we are what we seem to be to disappear, it has to be totally quiet. Any conclusion of the mind is a wrong conclusion. See? There will be no conclusion because the one that arrives to conclusions will simply disappear. Means the idea of being it. The self is the conscious background of silence. Which is covered by this apparent I, see, apparent self, apparent being, the mind. Just be. At some point, you must be able to just be. No need to inquire. See, you know that you are. It remains as this I. And the idea of being this I disappears.
Okay.
Body identity will disappear. If we can be still straight away, that's it. If we cannot, then inquiry must take place. The inquiry keeps the mind still, means it frees the mind from intrusive thoughts. But the mind itself is a thought. If the I thought can be free from thoughts, straight away, by all means. Be still and know I am that. The thoughts, whatever happens, don't be involved in it. Just be still. See, don't run after any phenomenon. Don't think of them, don't analyze them. See, just ignore them completely. This is to be still.
Okay, thank you.
When the mind goes out, means when it gets activated, then you must inquire, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the point comes that the mind gets activated, and as soon as you notice it, it keeps quiet again.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Yeah.
So there is a point where the effort is impossible, right?
Yeah.
To keep
It's like that.
Yes, it is impossible, it is contradictory and counterproductive. So at the beginning, it's impossible not to make an effort, means it is impossible not to having to bring the attention back to the thought I.
Yeah.
But there is a moment when the attention goes on to the thought I without making effort. If that is happening, by all means, leave it like that.
Okay.
And then this thought I will be absorbed by the self, right? It will subside. If it is really still, it cannot stand. The thought I, the mind, if it is not associated with objects, thoughts, right? It cannot stand, it will subside. It will disappear. First, temporarily, and at some point permanently. Because one is still, we don't know anything. We only know oneself.
Mhm.
But this oneself is not oneself. It's what it seems to be oneself.
Mhm.
Right? So if what it seems to be oneself remains quiet, it disappears. Disappearing what appears to be oneself, appearing, so to speak, revealing itself what oneself actually is. It is simultaneous. It's like as soon as you switch on the light, darkness disappears. It is just the same. The body identity will disappear. That's what I mean. I am the body idea will disappear. You will find that the body is just an object. That the body is the world. You will find that the body is not conscious or aware of itself. That which is actual aware or conscious is awareness or consciousness. And it becomes evident that this is what we really are. Consciousness of the self doesn't need the confirmation of anybody else, the confirmation of its existence. Yeah? It's self-evident. Self-evident, self-effulgent, independent from anything else. Cannot be seen. If it is seen, it's an object. It sees.
Sees in what way?
It is conscious.
In
It's ever conscious. Consciousness, this is why it's called consciousness. Not what we understand by consciousness, which is body consciousness, right?
Mhm.
That is relative consciousness, false consciousness, right?
Mhm.
Because what we call consciousness, sometimes is there, sometimes there is unconsciousness, right?
Mhm.
That means that consciousness appears and disappears, so it cannot be real, right? So to know consciousness is to be consciousness. We know it by being it, not the knower of it.
Yeah, that was a mind game going on. Yeah.
It's okay. It's a sign of progress. Subtly it becomes means weaker it is. So it is exhausting all its weapons.
Okay.
It is running out of tricks.
Yeah. Okay.
Alina,
Hi, Cesar. Hi, everyone. So, Cesar, this is, subtle ego festival today. I want to be part of it. So, like 2 years ago, when I just started to participate, and when there was no satsangs, I would speak to you in my head. But then I didn't know what you're talking about. And now, after the glimpse, as the knowledge reflected in my mind, the ego proclaimed itself like half enlightening, and I see that this is a bullshit, because I see that still the body consciousness and it's trying to play this card, But while it's talking the talks, I see the token, and sometimes I cannot ignore it. I involve in it, and then I all the question that arise, I just ask it to you in my head, and you answer me really clear, really, how to explain. This is your voice. Even we speak English, because in my head,
the mind game.
even
The mind game. That's
the mind game, yes. So I shouldn't rely on it, yes.
No. The answer in your head is it is a mind game. It's a mental trick. That's what you hear.
Yeah. So that was my question, because before you talked to Yorika, and you said that ego is guiding herself. And my question is also, probably ego pretends to be you and guide me the way.
No, the ego cannot pretend to be me.
Then who is?
The ego cannot imitate me.
But the answers, they are clear, and they are always.
Then follow them.
So I could rely on it, yes?
Yes.
Even it's because I know it's mind game, because since I know what the mind is, even now I speak as the mind, I know what the mind is, and it seems that okay, everything is the mind, and this is the mind also, and for that reason I raise the question, can I rely on it? Because when it's talking, I just ask the question, and the answer always really clear and short, and you just like turn me back to self-inquiry. Or you answering something else, but still the answer is clear, and somehow it turned me back to just being to myself.
Correct.
But so even it's a mind game, I can rely on it, yes, as it's your advice.
See, the guru has no form, but it may use a particular form just to guide the devotee or the seeker.
But even in my head, it's not my ego speaks to me.
No.
Yeah, well, that was my question, because like I was, the question was, can I rely on it or not? Because like I have this particular form
See,
as you.
in reality, the answer is coming from within you, but you still cannot see it clearly. So
Yeah.
it appears as if it is coming from me or someone else. That which it represents symbolically the knowledge, right?
Mhm.
Yes. So it was clear for you that the
Yeah.
mind is playing now another game, is taking another form, see, another identity,
Mhm.
which is okay. It happens also. That is the last form of identity. See, I am that.
Yeah, and in my case, I'm the devotee.
We are that, not the thought, I am that. See, we forget we are that when we start thinking I am that. So we must stop thinking I am that and just be that, remain as that.
Mhm.
Make sense?
Just yeah, makes sense. But just after the glimpse, the mind seems became more loud than before, and it's so annoying. And I see that like, oh, it's so happy, and I see all this blah blah blah, and then, oh, come on, it was so much better when there was body identity, but when it was calm, it was so much
Okay.
better.
Okay. Once we wake up, there may be revelations about many things, not only the revelation about oneself. Okay?
I'm sorry, Cesar, can you repeat, because my connection is not really good.
When oneself gets revealed, everything else may be revealed also. Then let it happen. Don't hold on to them. Okay?
Mm.
So the ego doesn't appear again as a knower of the revelation, right? There is only the revelation. There is no one to getting, there is no one that is getting the revelation. There is no knower.
Mhm.
There is only the fact, what is.
Yeah, but it just, you know, like,
We can have many insights.
mm.
Then they will serve the purpose. Then let them go. You won't forget it.
No, I just, you know, this fear comes actually, you know, that like the John, he start talk and he reinforced those fear, because I don't remember when he had a glimpse and he talked to you. I don't remember how, like,
The mind, the
he had
mind,
words.
the mind says me too.
No, I mean that I was those time I didn't have a glimpse, but he was speaking to you, and I was amazed by this talk. You know, it seems like for him it was so very obvious everything that happens to him, and it seems like he could never lose it. And now mind trick him once again, and he called to you, try to figure it out. And I am okay, hold on. Probably it's gonna be the same, and I just terrified by it.
Soon as you think you got it, you lost it.
Yes.
Because you cannot get it, achieve it, or lose it because it is what you are.
Mm.
The mind rises back, okay, and says, I got it.
Yeah.
Who is this I that got it? So
Mhm.
it is said that there are traps before awakening. After awakening, an awakening is a trap. Who wakes up? So it becomes a thought again. The actual knowledge of being the self becomes a memory, right?
Yes.
And it is okay. It is bound to happen. Most people, I went through that.
But when your mind collapsed the second time, it didn't come back, yes?
No, it can't come back.
Yeah.
It can, if the tendencies are not fully destroyed, it will come back again. But it is easier to tackle it back, see, to its source. And when you see it, it's no longer there.
But still, there is, even I see the mind, still there is a feeling that the mind sees the mind. He just sees the tricks which he plays with itself, you know. I don't know.
You are making it, there's a tendency, you guys over elaborate. See, you drive yourself nuts with so much. That's a cultural thing. Too much reasoning. There must be more observation. Observation is the key. There is ecstasy, which is a mental state that comes as an interpretation. That's okay. But that is mind.
When I was asleep, there was no ecstasy, you know. It was nothing there. Even not the ecstasy was there. I don't know, like, maybe because the tendency of my mind is not about happiness. It's always about something dark and heavy and all this stuff. So for that reason, when I see the ecstasy, I'm like, okay, bullshit. And the ecstasy ends when it begins. I just cut it off really fast.
Good. That's my point. The point comes, the moment comes when, as soon as the ego rises in any form, right? With any kind of identity, as soon as you see it, it's gone. The mind cannot survive the light of being, under the light of being observed.
Okay, Cesar, thank you. There was some other question, but I don't remember it. If I will raise my hand once again.
Yes.
Thank you.
So again, just go with it. It doesn't matter if the other questions arise later. Even if you understand the inquiry, okay, let's quote Ramana Maharshi, right? Let the thought arise, means the thought will arise, right? First thought, I, and then the other thought comes along with it. And then it says, don't follow it and see from where it arises, to whom it appears. But the moment comes that you will not, it will just disappear. You will not even, the intention will disappear. It becomes spontaneous, right? It becomes effortless. So the ego rises, and when it is seen, it collapses.
Okay, yeah.
And
I'll keep back on track.
you are the very light of consciousness that is dissolving the ego without doing anything. Because of the presence of the ego, it seems that the ego is also by itself doing the inquiry, but this is happening all along by grace.
Mm. Yeah, like the brushing teeth without the maker was really fascinating. So I will rely on it that you was not there. Body was there. Body was moving, but nobody was there.
You as the ego were not there. As consciousness, you were there. You cannot not be there as consciousness.
Mm.
You
Yeah,
can-
I didn't faint or something. I
Yeah.
keep moving and keep
That be-
doing what I did.
That becomes permanent.
Mhm.
Whether the body is cooking, walking, eating, talking, working, right? That experience becomes permanent. Means the body is just spontaneously active as it is meant to be.
Mm.
And you are just the witness. And when I say the witness, it's just to differentiate consciousness from the mind or the body.
Mm.
And then you will find, Jesus, but see, I am separate from that, but that is not separate from me. See, I am different from that, and yet that is not separate from me, right? That's the whole point. There is no separate entity. See, there is nothing that exists separately, apart, independently from consciousness.
Mm.
Even though the reality of consciousness is different from phenomenon, right?
Mm. And when you don't have to provide any actions, you fell in this non-differentiation state.
Sorry?
When you don't have to provide anything, you just fell back into this non-differentiation state.
To provide or to prove?
Provide,
Provide what?
to make something.
Huh?
I mean, how to be in non-differentiation state and in differentiation state at the same time.
There is no how. That is one's natural state. When we are fully convinced, permanently aware of one's reality, the apparent sense of duality or differentiation for the practicality of daily life will function, but it will not cover the fact that there is no duality, no differentiation.
Mm. Okay, I'll not get there mentally because there's no way
In
that I
fact,
could understand it with my mind.
you will see that there is neither duality or non-duality. All that is your thought also.
Mm.
It's okay. Everything is falling into place.
Okay, thank you.
Good.
Hmm.
This is why satsang is recommended until the ego disappears completely.
Yeah, I don't have any wish like to drop or something. I just like 9 p.m. Moscow time, I'm here.
I know.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Isabel. Hola, Isabel.
Hola, a ver cómo. Hola a todos, compañeros. A ver cómo me explico. Primero, casi mejor una cosa general para. eh, me pregunto si el momento es eterno, ¿cómo no queda por lo menos un eco en este planeta que nada se pierde o en esta que no se pierde nada, lo vivido que sea tan como humo, no me cuadra.
No, no se pierde la
O-
memoria.
pero la memoria es como mental solamente,
Correcto.
no es una...
La memoria es
com-
parte de la mente. Vamos a ponerlo de esta manera, ¿ok? Ahorita estamos experimentando la vigilia, ¿ok?
Ok,
O el estado consciente. La vigilia y todo lo que involucra la vigilia, pensamientos, memoria, ego, tendencias, pasado, presente, futuro, todo eso colectivamente es la mente, porque la vigilia es un estado mental. Por lo tanto, la vigilia en su totalidad, que incluye todo fenómeno que aparece en la vigilia, es la mente.
sí, lo que a mí me choca es que de eso no quede ni un registro, no solo a nivel
No,
de la memoria
toda
particular, sino a nivel...
no, la memoria no se pierde. Lo que se pierde es el sentido de individualidad basado en todo eso.
Y la memoria trasciende.
No, se trasciende la memoria. Se trasciende la memoria quiere decir que uno es aquello que está más allá de la memoria, entendiendo como memoria la mente. La memoria es un aspecto de la mente, es una parte de la mente.
Claro, y como tal no queda ni siquiera un eco ni un registro, nada de lo que ha sucedido
No, claro,
como,
claro que,
como existencias.
claro que sí. Hay gente que recuerda todas sus vidas anteriores.
No, no me refiero a eso, me refiero a otros niveles en algún espacio, en algún...
No, aquí no se pierde nada.
Eso es lo que quería saber, si no se pierde nada, ¿no?
No, no.
O sea, todo lo que es siempre.
Si yo recuerdo mi vida, ese recuerdo no es el recuerdo del cuerpo, de las experiencias aparentemente del cuerpo.
Mm.
Yo puedo tener recuerdos de mi vida sin identificación con ello. Por lo tanto, toda la carga emocional desaparece, no la memoria.
Ajá, ajá, ajá. Bueno, voy a lo que realmente más me afecta y es que estos días, y hablo de estos días en concreto hoy porque están siendo muy intensos y cada día tiene su... Me ha caído como una losa ver en la relación pues la parte oscura y en mí misma el egoísmo como motor principal de hasta de lo que pareciera, como dicen los españoles de Sudamérica,
La, vol-
pareciera, no sé lo que iba a decir, o sea, hasta pareciera, o sea, que hasta no sé, pero lo que quiero decir es que hasta lo que parecía, sí, hasta lo que pareciera ir con buena intención, veo que en el fondo la fuerza principal o el motor principal ha sido en mi vida el egoísmo y eso me cae como un peso que la indagación no me lo... No, ya sé que no la indagación no es para eso, pero me da un poco de miedo ese peso tan,
la
y
indagación, la indagación te libera de ese peso,
pues no me libera, no me libera.
porque la indagación erradica el sentido de individualidad, el sentido de hacedor.
Ya, pero la losa del egoísmo
No,
que he
eso
cargado
es- está
toda
bien.
esta última temporada me cae con una claridad y una... no sé cómo decirte,
Está bien, está
es
bien.
como el absurdo, que me ha caído el absurdo, porque luego también es la mente tan, eh, no sé, sin sentido. Todos los pensamientos no tienen ningún sentido. O sea, son pensamientos todos o absurdos o egoicos.
Eso está muy bien. Te estás dando cuenta de cómo funciona la mente. Y lo importante es que uno sepa que uno no es la mente. Y entonces ese funcionamiento egoico desaparece. El ego desaparece. Si el ego desaparece, el egoísmo desaparece.
Pero como el ego no ha desaparecido, me...
¿Y qué es el ego?
eh,
Yo soy Isabel y mis acciones han sido siempre egoístas, incluso aquellas donde parecía haber buena voluntad. ¿Sí? Porque el que se beneficiaba o se regodeaba de la acción, del resultado, era yo.
claro,
Entonces, mientras yo signifique Isabel, el cuerpo, y no conciencia, entonces, pero eso que estás diciendo es sumamente importante. No sé si te das cuenta de ello. Es un momento de claridad donde puedes ver al ego y su función, cómo funciona, cómo opera. Sí, el ego y el ego se llama egocentrismo, es una acción centrada en el ego, por el ego, para el ego. Ahora, no dejes espacio a la más mínima duda de que el ego puede ser disuelto. Es decir, no dejes espacio a la duda de que la identificación con el cuerpo pueda desaparecer. De hecho, ya tú no eres el cuerpo, ni la mente, que es el pensamiento, yo soy el cuerpo. Tú eres el testigo, la conciencia testigo.
o sea, soy la conciencia que observa o que contempla o que atestigua lo que los todo
Todo. Y no le y no le afecta nada.
y no le afecta nada.
Bien sea que la acción es egoísta o altruista.
Y dentro de el ego, para quitar ese peso de responsabilidad o de culpa, no cabe otra que lo que estás diciendo,
Autoindagar.
que autoindagar.
Autoindagar es autoobservarse, sí, correcto.
Y en la confianza de que esa observación es la verdadera naturaleza y lo que te haya movido o hayas hecho o hayas sentido no tiene...
Correcto. Porque el observador hasta cierto punto es Isabel. Hasta cierto momento va a ser Isabel. Porque pareciera que es Isabel la que se está dando cuenta de todo eso, ¿cierto?
Sí,
Eh, entonces, si el observador ignora lo observado, es decir, no se identifica con ello o como ello, ¿m? El ego se va debilitando porque el ego se alimenta de esos pensamientos, de esos objetos. ¿M?
sí, es como si le das alimento, claro, sí, sí,
Ok.
alimento.
Porque el pensamiento es el alimento de la mente. ¿Qué es un pensamiento? El pensamiento yo. ¿Sí? Yo soy Isabel y luego todos los demás pensamientos son agregados al pensamiento yo, o una extensión del pensamiento yo. Si la mente no se identifica con los pensamientos, entonces todo esto se va disolviendo.
Con los pensamientos ni con las sensaciones, ni porque todo
Correcto,
eso a mí
correcto.
me hace temer por mi salud mental,
Ok.
porque digo, voy, o sea, he perdido
No, 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 para nada. Al contrario, estás ganando más y más claridad. Yo que te conozco de hace un tiempo y de una u otra manera te vengo siguiendo los pasos. ¿Ok? Entonces, si ese pensamiento yo no se asocia con otros pensamientos, entonces desaparece. Es decir, el pensamiento yo soy Isabel, yo soy el cuerpo desaparece y queda en evidencia que lo que uno es conciencia.
Entonces lo que me recomiendas para ahora es contemplarlo, todas esta responsabilidad que me ha entrado, o esta culpa, o esta
Pon la atención,
contemplarla.
pon la atención. ¿Quién observa los pensamientos? Yo. ¿Quién lleva? ¿Ok? Aunque haya claridad y entendimiento perfecto, tiene que haber un yo que entiende, que observa, ¿verdad?
Mm.
Entonces, al igual que pones atención a todo lo demás, también pone atención al yo. ¿Ok? De manera que ese yo simplemente observe y no se identifique con lo observado. Ok.
Ok, gracias, voy a
Eso es mantener la atención en el observador.
mantener la atención en el observador.
Entonces, el observador se va a quedar sin lo observado. El observador, al quedarse sin lo observado, no puede sostenerse en pie y se va a sumergir en su fuente.
Voy a practicarlo,
Muy
lo que
bien,
me dices.
muy bien.
Gracias.
A la orden. Muy bien. Gabriel,
Hola, ¿se oye?
sí,
A ver, César, cuando tú dices que todo está predestinado, para mí eso está claro, no hay duda. De hecho, recuerdo leyendo a Ramana cuando decía que hasta que un cuchillo caiga al suelo estaba predestinado. Pero cuando viene la segunda parte, cuando dices que nada está escrito sobre piedra, ahí no acabo de entenderlo. O sea, es como que unas cosas estuvieran predestinadas y otras no, como que hay eventos que sí y otros que no, o
no, eso es lo que quiere decir. Lo que ustedes el karma puede ser disuelto o completo o parcialmente. Dentro de todas las infinitas posibilidades que existen, la posibilidad de que el karma sea disuelto o disminuido existe.
no sé. ¿Podrías poner un ejemplo?
Sí, había un devoto de Sai Baba, un americano, doctor Goldstein, y tuvo una entrevista con Baba. En una de las era miembro, lo que sea, devoto de Baba, y le dijo, este es tu último viaje a Puttaparthi.
Le dijo Baba.
Sí. Y él se quedó frío porque imagínate tú, tiene toda la vida yendo, la oportunidad de ir siempre está allí. Era inclusive, no sé si era o es todavía el presidente, el director de la organización SAI para el ala de Occidente. Y yo no sé si era en un viaje de ida a India o de regreso, el avión lo secuestraron, ¿ok? Y los secuestradores estuvieron a punto de matar a todo el mundo. Y de hecho creo que mataron a unos cuantos, pero... Y él se pegó y rezó y rezó y rezó, y lo único que repetía era Om Sai Ram, Om Sai Ram, Om Sai Ram, Om Sai Ram, Om Sai Ram. Al final, a él no lo mataron y los secuestradores terminaron rindiéndose. ¿Me sigues?
Sí, sí.
O sea, que se supone que él moría en ese secuestro. Ahora, ¿qué fue aquello que lo liberó del karma? La devoción. ¿Me explico?
Entonces,
Baba nos decía que sí, era cierto. Nosotros escribíamos nuestro destino en la frente, lo habíamos hecho nosotros mismos, ningún Dios, ningún nada, uno mismo con sus pensamientos, palabras y acciones. Pero decía que no lo habíamos escrito con tinta indeleble, que lo habíamos escrito con un lápiz y que el lápiz tenía dos puntas, una para escribir, dos extremos, uno para escribir y el otro para borrar. Y él decía que el borrador era la devoción. Ahora bien, si el karma le pertenece al ego, ¿ok? Y el ego desaparece, ¿qué pasa con el karma? ¿A quién se le aplica?
pues sí, eso está claro, esa parte está clara. Si se disuelve, se acabó. Pero es que al oír eso que nada está escrito en piedra, como que, bueno, es como si hubieran varios destinos potenciales, ¿no?
No. A la final, el karma es para el cuerpo.
Sí, sí, eso lo
Y yo
entiendo.
soy conciencia, yo que tengo que ver con karma, con
Nada,
nacimiento, con muerte, con destino, con libre albedrío,
nada, no le afecta.
esclavitud, liberación o lo que sea.
Sí. No, era más pensando en eso, en la vida del cuerpo, en los eventos que ocurren, ¿no? Porque a veces se ve muy claro, bueno, yo por lo menos en mi experiencia lo tengo clarísimo, lo de la predestinación. Pero al decir tú eso es como que hay cosas que dices, bueno, es como un poco confuso, ¿no? Me parecía. Como si hubiera cosas que no y cosas que sí. Vamos, que en última instancia no importa, porque si se disuelve, ya está.
Las preguntas confunden porque son dadas según el punto de vista, la madurez y la capacidad
Ya.
del buscador. Eso es todo.
Mm. Ok.
Inclusive cuando la gente vivía con Ramán, si yo no entiendo, a uno le responde una cosa, el otro le responde a otro, entonces ¿cuál es la verdad?
Ya, sí. Y otra cosa, César, que me surgió, no sé si leyendo a Nisargadatta o no recuerdo cómo fue, hace ya un tiempo y el otro día en el medio duerme vela me surgió. Y era como que el hecho de, ¿no? Porque aquí te decimos todo alegremente, ¿no? Y se ve lo más natural. Pero también uno piensa, por ejemplo, ¿no? No digo que sea el caso, pero por ejemplo, se da como se dio en ti y ya la disolución desaparece. Entonces, si en ese caso hay un impulso de testear o compartir con el gurú, con el guía, eso significa que todavía llego porque hay un deseo de compartir y lo adecuado es callarse y no decir nada. Como,
Sí, ¿y qué vamos a celebrar? Que somos lo que somos.
claro, o sea, si no hay a quien ni decírselo, ¿no?
Exacto.
Pero es lo que suele hacerse, ¿no? O, no sé, en tu
Ah,
caso,
no,
por
eso,
ejemplo,
eso, eso es una moda que se impuso.
sí,
La impuso, no, no, la impuso, ni siquiera la impuso un gurú, empezaron a imponérsela a un gurú, el reporte espiritual.
sí,
Ramana Maharshi, que yo sepa, reconoció
Y a la vaca y a su madre.
y al resto, no quiere decir que no habían otros que despertaron, ¿ok? Pero
Y entonces, en tu caso, por ejemplo, por curiosidad, cuando pasó, ¿qué haces? ¿Te piras y ya está o qué?
no, en mi caso el ego volvió.
Bueno, cuando ya no, quiero decir.
Cuando ya no, y antes de que ya no, no sé, también porque yo vengo de una escuela tradicional y aunque tú despiertes, el gurú sigue siendo él. ¿Me sigues?
Sí,
Y si nos preguntaban acerca del tema, hablábamos, pero nunca nos apropiábamos del conocimiento, nunca decíamos que era nuestro. Inclusive se nos guiaba. Cuando este conocimiento sea tuyo, no hay problema. Mientras tanto, cita. Ramana dice, el otro dice, el señor fulano de tal dice, ¿ok? Y todavía asume uno la posición de devoto. ¿Mm?
ujú.
Este, entonces, si nos preguntaban, o si espontáneamente salía el tema, pues uno daba una opinión, pero no había el interés de hablar con nadie, ni había la urgencia de compartir nada con nadie, al contrario, lo que más queríamos era estar callados y no hacer nada.
O sea, que allí no había el decirle, no sé, en tu caso a Ratanlal, me ha pasado esto,
No, no, en mi caso, él fue testigo.
o sea, lo supo él antes que tú
Él
igual.
él me estaba viendo cuando yo estaba indagando,
Ya.
¿ok? Y él se dio cuenta de que yo me di cuenta de que soy conciencia. Y él estaba sentado a la entrada de un edificio enfrente del hall donde yo estaba indagando. Y yo salí de allí en total y absoluto éxtasis. Y él estaba sentadito ahí en las escaleras de la entrada del edificio viéndome cuando yo venía saliendo. Y yo vengo todavía con la sonrisa amarrada a las orejas, ¿ok? Que es el estado de éxtasis, es cuando la mente sale, pero todavía o sea, no es, esa mente no la puedes llamar ego, ¿ok? Cuando hay
Ya.
conocimiento de sí mismo, no hay nada, no hay éxtasis, es silencio absoluto. El éxtasis viene como interpretación,
Sí,
¿ok?
alguien está viendo la experiencia.
No, 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 no. Todavía no aparece como alguien. Sí. El conocimiento directo se refleja en la conciencia, perdón, se refleja en la mente. La mente es pensamiento.
Sí,
Entonces,
sí, no, me refiero con lo que has dicho antes, cuando hay éxtasis.
ok. Anyway, yo salgo de ahí, él está sentadito ahí y me ve y tiene una sonrisa como pícara, ¿ok? Y me dice, ¿por qué estás tan feliz? Y yo,
Sabiéndolo, ¿no?
y yo digo, fue peor, me dieron más ganas de reír. ¿Cómo que por qué? Entonces él se levanta y me dice, ¿qué estabas haciendo? Y yo no estaba haciendo nada, estaba ahí sentado así, conmigo mismo. Entonces él se empieza a reír como un loco, igual que yo. Y me agarra de la mano y éramos como dos tontos dándole así, como dos niñitos, así, dándoles la mano. Entonces me dijo, ¿te das cuenta de que si uno es honesto con uno mismo, en una fracción de segundo se puede tener un atisbo de nuestra realidad? Me dice, muy bien, muy bien. ¿Para dónde ibas? Le digo, voy a la cantina a desayunar. ¿Y qué vas a desayunar? Le digo, lo de siempre. Le dije lo que iba a comer. Me dijo, muy bien. Nos vemos en satsang ahora. Pero yo no le dije nada, ¿sí? Él se dio cuenta. Y yo me di cuenta de que él se dio cuenta. Y él se dio cuenta de que yo me di cuenta.
Ya,
Y cuando fuimos al satsang, entonces me dijo, después que uno tiene un atisbo de nuestra realidad, toma cierto tiempo establecerse en nuestro estado natural. Y sí dijo después Si él puede realizar el ser, ¿por qué no pueden ustedes? Entonces, de una u otra forma, empezó a halagar,
Ya,
vamos a decir, mi actitud, que fue lo que ayudó a que eso sucediera. Y mente unidireccional, mente pura, dedicación, sí, solamente el deseo por la liberación y tal y que sí.
sí.
Por muy poquito. Y de ahí en adelante, entonces ya todo el mundo empezó a pararme por ahí. Te puedo hacer una pregunta, te puedo hacer una pregunta. Y ahí comenzó todo esto.
Ya.
Pero no había deseo de, ok, ahora voy a compartir donde iba, mira que no, para
No,
nada.
ni siquiera para contrastar qué te había pasado, ¿no?
No, nada,
No
nada,
había necesidad.
nada. Inclusive, esto que te estoy contando ahora lo vine a comentar años después,
Ujú.
ni a la gente más cercana, ni a nadie, ni siquiera a su propia esposa.
¿Pero seguiste asistiendo a satsang o ya no?
Sí, claro, sí,
Seguiste igual, ¿no?
claro. Y después mi relación con él ya era completamente diferente.
Que tu relación con él era diferente.
Sí, ya no era de yo a tú, era de yo a yo,
Ah, vale, vale, ya,
de yo a
entiendo.
yo, sí, todo.
Ya, ya.
De hecho, yo comencé a hablar de esto porque él me pidió que lo hiciera. Y yo me
Sí, sí,
negué,
sí,
y yo
lo
me negué,
recuerdo, sí.
y yo me negué.
Tú eras joven y testarudo, ¿no? Porque tú no querías, ¿no?
¿Quién voluntariamente estará dispuesto a sentarse ahí y escuchar todo esto?
Ya.
¿Cómo te explico? Uno no quiere hacerlo, pero no le importa hacerlo. ¿Me explico?
Sí,
Para
sí,
que no
sí,
se malinterprete, ¿no?
sí. No hay deseo, se ve y ya está, ¿no? O a lo mejor pruebas a hacer otra cosa y no,
Uno
que te
responde
impulsa.
porque sabe, eso es todo.
¿Cómo?
Uno responde porque sabe, porque puede,
Claro,
no
claro,
porque quiere o tiene el deseo.
ya.
Entonces me dicen, me duele la cabeza y que yo tengo una aspirina, toma. Te doy la aspirina porque la tengo en el bolsillo. Si no,
Sí,
¿cómo te quito el dolor de cabeza? ¿Cómo te doy el remedio si no lo tengo?
ya, está claro. Es que a veces lo he pensado porque es como, bueno, te vamos contando, pero al final dices, bueno, pues sí, es que sigue siendo un poco la misma tónica, ¿no? Algo que quiere compartir para que le digan. Entonces llega a ese punto, pues sigue
No.
habiendo ahí algo, ¿no?
Si hay intención, hay voluntad individual.
Exacto, por eso te lo decía,
Y es
porque la intención viene de la individualidad, ¿no?
correcto, y eso es el ego.
Eso es, eso es. O sea que lo que nace, digamos, si de verdad se ha disuelto es nada.
Espontaneidad, no voluntad, espontaneidad.
Pero la espontaneidad también puede incluir contrastar con el gurú.
No.
Vale, vale, es eso.
El grupo puede espontáneamente no decir nada o decir algo. Ramana,
No, no, digo al que le pregunta al gurú,
ajá,
que me refería al que le pregunta, que si hay una pregunta es porque todavía hay una intención,
claro, por supuesto. Si
aunque
hay una,
sea contrastar que ha ocurrido o no.
si hay una duda, todavía está el que duda. El que duda es el ego,
Exacto. Aunque sea en ese momento y para contrastar sobre eso.
por así decirlo, sí.
Ujú. Ok. O sea que lo natural es, si ocurre, pues simplemente no se dice nada, se vive y ya está. Pues nada, me queda claro.
Uno se convierte, por así decirlo, en la encarnación del conocimiento, ¿sí? Es el conocimiento vivo.
Sí, Y no surge ni el preguntarle al maestro ni nada. Simplemente eso
¿Qué más
se
le va,
apodera de uno y se vive y ya está.
qué más le va a preguntar?
Nada, ya está. Es eso.
Preguntas prácticas, tal vez.
Sí. Ok, pues muy bien. Gracias.
A orden. Nunca.
It's me. Hi.
Ah,
Hello, everyone. So, could you explain a little bit about surrender? Because this is obviously something I'm grappling with. Sounds simple.
to surrender is to give up one's ego sense of individuality, to give up this idea, I am the body. This idea is giving up by not holding to any idea, to any thought, to any object, to any desire, to any conclusion, to any knowledge. See, it's forgetfulness of everything. Forgetfulness of everything brings the forgetfulness of the idea of oneself, which is also an idea. In other words, to be mentally still. This is to surrender. So in this sense, surrendering and inquiry, it means the same. We surrender any desire, any expectation, any knowledge, any memory. See,
How do I parallelly function in everyday world?
you will not be there as the ego to raise the question. You raise the question.
Well, yeah.
You raise the question now. But when the one that raises the question disappears, who is there to ask how it's going to be when I am not here? You will not be there as the ego. See?
Yeah, but in the meantime,
In the meantime, there is no how. Is you surrender, there is no question. See, the questioner is free from questions. The question is a thought. If the questioner remains free from questions, means it remains free from thoughts. Then you will see how life goes on spontaneously, automatically, smoothly actually. Even in the middle of the challenges, you go through it like a knife cutting through butter. But the ego says, okay, but give me a guarantee, a guarantee for that this is going to be like that.
yeah. I mean, I have to
My
go
experience,
to work tomorrow
yes.
and obviously do my work, for example. So how do I parallelly do my work and give up on any idea? You know what I mean?
By inquiring. If you inquire, then you will see how everything goes automatically, spontaneously, effortlessly, smoothly. Even if it appears to be a failure, it goes naturally, it flows beautifully, right? Oh, fantastic. And it's not a problem, and something else will come up. Don't worry about that. Until the body dies, always something will come up. And we go through that, see, in a state of equanimity, mental equanimity. There is no mental,
What's equanimity?
no mental overreactions, right? You will say, oh, Jesus, it didn't happen. And that's it. It's not a problem, right? Or, oh, it happened. Nice. But there is no no emotion, which is a mental overreaction to what happens, right? And also underneath all that, a deep sense of peace, which is no other than oneself, which is understood or known as oneself. So the mind basically will reflect the blissfulness of oneself.
So if I go in a meeting, I inquire at the same time.
Yes, the inquiries, it does not contradict or is an impediment to perform one's duties. You can inquire even while having a conversation with somebody. With practice, one get to this point. Because if you are thinking, talking, or doing, you know that you are, but we don't pay attention to oneself. The attention is always in what we think, we say, we do, or what happens. So we also begin to pay attention to the one that pays attention to oneself, right? And then oneself begins to lose its sense of self with what we say, we think, we do, what happens, right?
It hasn't occurred to me, like I can do it while talking to you, but it hasn't occurred to me before to do it like, for example, while having a meeting.
There is something operating here by itself. Some kind of a power is there. And then this is why it can be done now. And then it is difficult to do it elsewhere or when we talk to someone else. There is a power that is in the neighborhood and it is doing its work, right?
What do you? I didn't get that. What?
The power of the self for its own grace is what makes the people, when we come together, to keep quiet, or it is easy for them to keep quiet, or the ego simply disappears. Or as you say, I'm talking to you and I can see that I can inquire at the same time. But when I am at
Yes.
the office or with my friends or at the shop, it's not that easy.
Yes.
So the moment comes that the people are coming to satsang, they are not interested in anything that I have to say. But to inquire is very easy, or the mind keeps quiet by itself. And this is what is, let's say, accelerating the process, right? So people take advantage of these meetings, or they are looking forward to these meetings because it's like, oh my God, now I can burn so much stuff. I just have to be there. Just being there is enough. The rest will.
That's true. And very much more when the satsang is in person and not via Zoom.
Correct. Correct. But I found that in a way it works also here.
Yes.
Forbearance, yeah.
Sorry, what?
No, somebody sending me some translations. Sometimes my English is, because of the lack of practice, so my English is getting worse. And my Spanish sometimes also. So I have like a backup brain here watching me, or send me stuff. Equanimity, no, it's okay, good.
Yeah, I'll Google it later.
So I have my forbearance or tranquility or peaceful, right? So the mind begins to reflect, see, the peacefulness of its reality, right? Because it's no longer conditioned by its own ideas of how it's supposed to be, it's not supposed to be, and it reacts according to all that, right? So that tends to be exaggerated, right? Over the top.
Okay, thank you.
If the mind doesn't disappear in satsang, it keeps quiet by itself. If it doesn't keep quiet by itself, it's easy to keep it quiet. Otherwise, it gets purified, right? So it can be attributed to the body of the so-called guru, but it has nothing to do with him, right? This body has no power on its own. So there is something there that it is actually operating and working everything out, right? So when the ego is not covering that, then that is really acting. You will find that the problems, the problem doesn't get solved in case it is solved. It's very interesting. That's my experience here. I mean, so many things had happened, and somehow here we are. Okay, time up. See you tonight. Otherwise, on Wednesday. Ok, entonces nos vemos a la noche o el miércoles para aquellos que no puedan participar a la noche.